Yeah, so we have the fire staying pretty well within the perimeter that it already was in for the past few days. That's really good news. We have Highway 2 as our southern edge of the fire. It's holding right there, looking good. On the west side of the fire, the Haybrook Lookout Road is what we're establishing today as containment line or potential containment line. The fire should not move across that road because we've got folks out there today working to reduce the fuels, meaning taking away some of the brush, chipping that material so that if the fire did reach that location, it wouldn't cross. Same story on the east edge of the fire along the Forest Service Road 6510. That runs along the Beckler River. So that's the area that we would want to make sure that we could contain the fire on the east side. So a lot of work today with heavy equipment, with crews out there. Highway 2 does remain closed, and that's because we've got rockfall, we've got debris, we've got potential hazard trees. Our goal is really to clear those safety hazards and be able to restore access to the highway as soon as we can do it safely for both firefighters and public.
Any changes to acres burned or containment overnight?
No, and I want to emphasize that really the goal here is a multi-pronged strategy where we're looking to combine the fact that we're late in the season, we're getting close to a potential season-ending event, along with the fact that we have some great natural features and work along those three edges that I mentioned. So we're looking at a combination of containment and confinement and protecting points and zones where we do have things like structures and developed communities. Those are really our emphasis areas. We've got all those structures protected, meaning we've got hose lays, we've got the ability to put water on those areas if needed, and we have round-the-clock monitoring with firefighters to make sure that homes are safe.
Okay, and I was going to ask about that with structures. How are we doing?
Yeah, there's only been one outbuilding that has burned. Everything else is looking good, really well protected. We're thrilled with all the different agencies and entities that have been able to come together and work really hard to get this thing under control, or getting there anyway.
And I mean, hundreds of these homes threatened or vulnerable to this. Are you saying every single home and structure is completely protected at this point?
At this point, what they've done is structure assessment and put in place the protections that they believe are needed. I can't make anyone 100% guarantee, and things can change. We are looking good in terms of the weather forecast, at least for the next few days. That should really help as humidity and moisture comes up, as temperatures start to cool, and really the winds have calmed down quite a lot, and that does help.
Yeah, this marine layer is so refreshing. I'm loving how cloudy it is right now.
Yes.
As a meteorologist, I'm really glad to see that. Let's talk about Stevens Pass and how dangerous it still is and why it's still closed. Now, are the mileposts still accurate? Have where the closure taken place, has that changed at all?
No, so the mileposts are the same for the closure on Highway 2. It's not actually to Stevens Pass. It's from Index Galena Road up to 5th Street North in Skykomish. So I believe that's about a 17-mile stretch. You would want to verify that information. Stevens Pass, I believe, is open, so if folks are coming from the east, they could get as far as Skykomish. We are asking as many people as possible to try and avoid the fire area. Really, it gives us the opportunity to have our firefighters be safe, be able to do their operations when there's not extra, traffic and public to worry about.
Let's talk about evacuations. There was an update as of 5 o'clock last night. There were the level 3s for Bering, some other different spots. Meanwhile, Index been downgraded to a level 2. Have those evacuations as of 5 o'clock changed at all since then?
No change since then. We're really excited that folks who had to evacuate, a number of folks who had to evacuate, will potentially be able to get back into their homes. We really want to emphasize that it's important to stay heads up for safety as they do come back. There's potential hazard trees, there's potential hot spots, really wanting to make sure that folks are careful as they're coming back into their communities.
And I was going to ask you too, it's a matter of days before Highway 2 is reopened. Is that still the time frame?
That would be the expectation at this point. We want to really ensure firefighter and public safety, acknowledging also that's a really important corridor for people in commerce to be able to move.
Okay, and then I also wanted to ask, anything else that homeowners should be aware of? One more question, I guess, in terms of timing, how long do these types of fires last? How long does it take to contain this kind of fire for this time of year?
So Really, yeah, for this time of year, for this location, I think what we're looking at is hopefully a season ending event within the next several weeks. Season ending event is several days of precipitation, rain or snow, that, is accompanied by cooler temperatures, sort of, a long duration of some of the same patterns we're seeing now, where it's getting cooler, a lot more moisture in the air. That means that the fuels out there are a lot less likely to burn. Things start to kind of calm down. Plus the good work of the firefighters, and really hoping that while we're not looking at 100% containment overnight, we're really heading in the right direction.
I've heard different numbers in different situations thrown out. Like if we reach 50% containment, for example, we have a pretty good handle on this particular aspect of a fire. Is there a certain percentage or threshold at which crews feel more comfortable with containment?
So there are a lot of factors that would go into that. So it depends on the weather, season, what time of year we're at, the topography, the fuels, So what they're doing today is a sort of long-term analysis, kind of looking at the strategic risk and making sure that they have a really solid plan for the next few weeks to manage this fire.
And I know you're saying that there's a lot more going on outside of just acres burned and percentage contained, but we also want to make sure we got those numbers right too.
Right. So I don't believe those numbers have changed since yesterday. Let me consult my cheat sheet real quick. 9,440 acres and 5% containment.
Okay. How did the night crews do last night?
Yeah, good. They were saying they were seeing moderate to, not too active fire behavior. They were out there patrolling again around structures, around communities, making sure that everything looked good. Stayed within the perimeter. We're seeing some backing, meaning the fire's kind of slowly moving downhill in some areas, but really no increase in perimeter.
Okay, got it. Is there anything else we've missed? Any other key messages people need to know, updates on this fire?
One more thing I just want to say is that the power companies are working on restoring power to the communities that have lost it. So there's work going on along the highway today on the power lines as well. We're thrilled that folks are going to be able to get back into their homes in some locations, and just want to emphasize that anyone who has the ability to avoid the fire area, that would really be preferred for public and firefighter safety.
And you were saying that if people heed evacuations, containment can happen more effectively.
It's safer for firefighters to work when they are not also trying to work around public. Again, we know people need to get into their homes, and where that is safe, we're happy to be able to welcome people back.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.